Hi, I'm Josh,
And I'm Susie.
and today we'll be talking about how to run a session.
Like hitting a neighbor's dog with a stick and trying to get it to let go. Anyway,
A session is a one-on-one meeting you will have with a student to review her paper. It's normal to be nervous at first, but as you take more sessions, you'll become more comfortable working with your peers. This video will give you a few tips to help make every session a success.
Before you begin a session, there are a few things to keep in mind. A session should usually last about 20 minutes, with the exception of foreign language students and students in English 106. We'll explain more about those sessions in another video.
Also, remember that your job isn't to correct every single mistake in a paper, and that this is the student's paper, not yours. Focus on just a few things and help the student rewrite or revise her paper. Don't rewrite it for her. You're just there to help.
When you first sit down with a student, introduce yourself and ask a few icebreaker questions such as, "How's your day going?" or "Where are you from?" The student is probably just as nervous as you are, so getting to know each other will help put both of you at ease.
During training, you'll be asked to observe or be observed during several sessions. It's a good idea to tell the student that the extra tutor is just there to watch and help out when needed. Remember, the purpose of observation is for the new tutor to see and practice good tutoring skills. Help out when necessary or when asked. But remember, your main purpose is to observe and give feedback afterwards.
After you've introduced yourself, ask the student to explain what her paper is about and what her teacher expects. If she has instructions from her teacher, be sure to review them so you can help the student fulfill the assignment. The better you understand what her teacher expects, the better advice you'll be able to give.
After you understand the assignment, explain to the student how the session will run. This is especially important if the student has never been to the Writing Center before, or if she hasn't visited in a while. Tell her that you plan to spend about 20 minutes working on her paper. Explain that you will have her read her paper out loud, and that you will be taking notes or marking her paper as she reads.
Give her a pencil and explain that if she sees anything she wants to work on, she can mark it as well. Tell her you will go over what you've marked after she finishes reading her paper.
Before the student begins reading, ask her if there's anything in particular she'd like to work on. Make a note of what the student tells you on a scribbler or a scrap piece of paper. Make sure you address her concerns in your review. If you don't notice any problems with the things she's concerned about, be sure to tell her so.
Be careful how many marks you make, since the student will most likely want to go over everything you mark. This can take a long time if you mark too many things. Also, a student may stop reading and ask what's wrong when you make a mark. Remind her that you'll explain more when she finishes reading her paper.
Sometimes, students will come in with very long papers. Reading the entire paper will take a long time and give you less time to review. You can ask the student if there's a specific section she wants to work on. Focus just on that part.
Once the student has finished reading her paper, it's time to review. Try and find something good to say about her paper, even if it's something small. It doesn't have to be something she's done perfectly, but saying something nice will build the student's confidence.
Next, talk about a few things that could be improved. This can be anything from the topic and main idea to grammar and documentation. Keep in mind that some things are more important than others. If the student's main idea isn't clear, it would be better to focus on that than on grammar rules.
Remember, your purpose is to help the student to improve her writing, not to rewrite the paper for them. Ask questions to help her improve her paper, rather than telling her how to do it. It's okay to give her ideas, but it's better to help her discover her own ideas.
At the same time, if a student is really stuck, don't hesitate to give her some thoughts. This might help the student come up with thoughts of her own, or at least give her a few options.
Sometimes, especially with documentation, the teacher will give students different instructions than what our book says. In these cases, defer to what the teacher says. If a student chooses not to take your advice, don't try to force her, and don't take offense. After all, it's her paper and not yours.
Once you've gone over everything you've marked, it's a good idea to ask the student if she has any more questions. Answer any questions she still has and thank her for her visit. If her teacher needs proof that she came in, be sure to stamp her paper or give her a visitor verification slip. Fill out the rest of the scribbler and file it accordingly.
Remember, it's normal to be nervous, but the more sessions you take, the more comfortable you will be.
Following these tips will help you make every session a success.
and she was like hitting a neighbor's dog with a stick and trying to get it to let go.